My name is Amelia. I'm 28 years old, and I live in a quiet corner of Chicago, a neighborhood called Lincoln Park. It's a peaceful place, filled with tall trees, quaint little shops, and neighbors who always greet you with a smile. To an outsider, my life looks perfect. I have a husband, a lovely apartment, and a steady job at a local bookstore. But beneath the surface, I'm deeply unhappy. Every morning, I wake up with a heavy heart. A year ago, I made a terrible mistake. I married a man named Ethan. He's 32 and by all accounts a wonderful person. He's kind, gentle, and has a smile that could light up a room. But I don't love him. I married him not out of love, but out of anger and sadness. I was trying to forget my ex-boyfriend, Noah, who had completely broken my heart. I wanted to move on as quickly as possible, so when Ethan proposed, I said yes. At the time, I thought marriage would be a cure for my heartache. I convinced myself that love would grow over time, but it never did. Now, I'm the one causing the pain. Ethan does everything he can to make me happy. He brings me flowers every Friday, he cooks dinner for me when I'm exhausted, he leaves little notes in my lunch bag, calling me his sunshine and always kissing my forehead. Any woman would feel lucky to have a man like him, but all I feel is guilt because I can't return his affection. One evening, we were sitting on the balcony. The stars were shining brightly in the warm night air. Ethan looked at me and said, "Amelia, I know you don't love me yet, but I believe you will. I'm willing to wait. My love is strong enough for both of us." His words brought tears to my eyes. He was so hopeful, but I had no hope left inside me. I felt like I was living a lie. I would smile when I didn't want to, say thank you when I felt nothing. I was living a life that didn't feel like my own. My mother once told me, "Amelia, love can grow. Marriage isn't always about intense passion. It's built on kindness, respect, and patience." I tried to hold on to her words. I tried to be patient. But with each passing day, I felt more and more like a stranger in my own life. One Friday evening, Ethan prepared a special dinner. He made my favorite dish, chicken pasta with garlic bread. He lit candles, put on soft music, and even wore the blue shirt I once said I liked. "This is all for you, Amelia," he said. "You're my everything." I managed a small smile and thanked him, but inside, I was empty. I couldn't enjoy the food or the music. I felt like I was an actress in a play, not a person living a real life. After dinner, Ethan took my hand. "Let's go for a walk." We walked to the small park near our apartment. It was there, under a large oak tree, that he had proposed to me a year ago. He smiled. "Remember this place? I promised I would love you forever." I looked from the tree to him, and I wanted to scream, "I don't love you, Ethan." But I remained silent. I couldn't bear to hurt him. He looked so happy, so full of love, and I felt like a monster. That night, sleep wouldn't come. I stared at the ceiling for hours, replaying my life, my choices, my feelings. I wondered, will I ever be happy again? The next morning, my best friend Chloe called. "Amelia, you sound exhausted. Are you okay?" I wanted to lie, but I couldn't. "I don't love Ethan," I confessed softly. "I married him to forget someone else, and now I feel trapped. I'm sad all the time." Chloe was quiet for a moment. "Maybe you need some space," she suggested. "Time apart might help you figure things out." I shook my head. "It's not about time, Chloe. My heart just feels nothing for him." Later that day, I tried to talk to Ethan. "Ethan, I need to talk to you." But he cut me off. "I know what you're going to say," he said quickly. "Please, don't give up on us yet, Amelia. I still believe we can make this work." His eyes were filled with that familiar hope, and it just made me feel worse. I didn't want to crush his spirit, but I knew I couldn't give him what he needed. I felt a constant exhaustion, like I was carrying a heavy weight on my shoulders every single day. One Sunday, Ethan asked me something that sent a chill down my spine. "Amelia," he said, "do you want to have a baby? I think it would bring us closer." I froze. The thought of raising a child with someone I didn't love was terrifying. I looked down at my hands. "I'm not ready, Ethan," I whispered. He nodded slowly, his hurt visible, but he didn't press the issue. His gentleness made me feel even more guilty. He was always kind, and I was always distant. That night, I wrote in my journal, "I feel like I'm drowning in this marriage. Ethan is a good man, but I can't be the wife he deserves." I also wrote, "Sometimes I want to run away, but I'm scared. What will people say? Will they call me selfish? Will they say I didn't try hard enough?" One evening, I packed a small bag, determined to leave. I watched Ethan as he slept, looking so peaceful and happy. I stood by the door, bag in hand, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I dropped the bag and sank to the floor, crying silently. The next morning, Ethan made me coffee. He kissed my cheek and said, "Good morning, my love. I believe in us." His words were like a knife in my heart. I wanted to scream, "Stop hoping!" but I just stayed quiet. I walked to the window and watched the world outside. A dog was chasing a ball, children were laughing, the sun was shining. Life was moving on, but I was stuck. I didn't know how to fix my life. I only knew I couldn't continue living this life forever. Before I continue, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? It gives me strength to know someone is hearing my story, someone who might understand. Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. The days crawled by. I went through the motions, wake up, make breakfast, go to work, come home, and put on a smile for Ethan. But inside, I was exhausted from all the pretending. One Saturday, Ethan came home with 2 movie tickets. "Amelia, let's go out tonight," he said. "Just us. I want to see you smile again." I nodded and agreed, not because I wanted to go, but because I couldn't bring myself to say no. That evening, I put on a nice dress and lipstick. I looked happy, but I felt nothing. At the theater, Ethan held my hand. He laughed at the funny parts and kept looking at me, searching for a sign of joy. I tried to smile, but it felt fake. "That was fun, right?" he asked after the movie. "Yes, it was nice," I lied. When we got home, he made us tea and put his arm around me on the couch. "I missed you, Amelia," he whispered. I looked away and said nothing. I felt terrible. I knew my silence was hurting him more than words ever could. The next morning, I met Chloe at a cafe by the lake. The sky was overcast, matching my mood. "Amelia, you don't look well," she said, her eyes full of concern. I took a deep breath and told her everything. "Chloe, I feel like I'm trapped in a box with no way out. I want to leave, but I'm terrified. Ethan is a good man. Everyone will hate me if I hurt him." Chloe took my hand. "No one can live your life for you. If you're not happy, you have to be honest. Ethan deserves the truth, and so do you." Her words resonated with me, but they didn't erase my fear. What if I hurt him too much? What if I regretted my decision? That night, I sat by the window, watching the quiet street. Lights glowed in other homes, and I wondered if those people were happy, or if they were pretending, just like me. Ethan came and sat beside me. "Amelia, you've been so quiet lately," he said gently. "I feel like I'm losing you." I wanted to tell him everything, but the words wouldn't come out. "I'm just tired," I said instead. "Work has been busy." He just nodded, but I could see the sadness in his eyes. The following week, Ethan planned a weekend trip to Lake Geneva. "Maybe the fresh air will do us good," he said. I didn't want to go, but I agreed, again, not wanting to hurt him. The lake was beautiful, the trees were green, and the sky was a perfect blue, but I felt nothing. Ethan booked a small hotel by the water. We walked along the shore, and he took pictures, laughing and holding my hand. "This is nice, isn't it?" he asked. My heart was silent. I felt like I was in a dream that wasn't mine. That night, he gave me a small box. Inside was a necklace with a tiny heart. "This is for you," he said. "My heart is yours." Tears filled my eyes, not of happiness, but of sorrow. I didn't deserve his love. "Thank you," I whispered. Later, as he slept, I sat on the floor, thinking. I remembered how kind he was when Noah left me. He listened, he helped, he made me smile. But I never felt love for him. I married Ethan because I was broken, not thinking clearly. I thought being with someone nice was better than being alone. Now I realize that living without love is so much worse. When we returned to Chicago, I started writing letters to myself, pouring out my feelings. One letter said, "Amelia, you are not a bad person. You made a mistake, but you didn't do it with malice. You must be brave now. You must find your truth." Another said, "Ethan is a good man, but he is not your home. You cannot give him what he needs." Writing helped me understand myself and my pain. A few days later, Chloe called. "You sound stronger," she said. "I'm thinking about telling Ethan everything," I told her. "He deserves the truth." "I'm proud of you," she replied. That evening, I made tea and asked Ethan to sit with me. My hands were shaking. "I need to tell you something," I began. He looked at me, waiting. I took a deep breath. "Ethan, I care about you. You're a wonderful man. But I don't love you. I never did. I married you because I was hurting, and I thought love would grow, but it didn't." Ethan was silent, his face calm, but his eyes glistened with tears. "I knew, Amelia," he said softly. "I saw it in your eyes. I just didn't want to believe it." Tears streamed down my face. "I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you." He nodded. "I love you, Amelia. I really do. But I can't be the only one trying. If your heart isn't in this, I can't force you to stay." His kindness was devastating. Even as I broke his heart, he was still kind. We sat in silence for a long time, surrounded by a quiet, profound sadness. That night, I slept on the couch. I whispered to the empty room. I told the truth. I didn't know what would happen next, but I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe again. The next few days were quiet. We lived like strangers in the same apartment. I slept in the guest room. In the mornings, Ethan still made coffee and left a cup for me, but there were no notes, no smiles, just silence. At the bookstore, I tried to stay busy, but my mind was always elsewhere. One afternoon, Chloe visited me at work. "How are you?" she asked, giving me a hug. "I'm okay," I said. "It's hard, but I feel more honest now." "That's a good start," she said. "What's next?" "I think I need to leave," I said quietly. "It's time." That evening, I told Ethan I was moving out. He wasn't surprised. "Do you have a place to go?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "Chloe offered me her guest room." He nodded. "Emma, I'm not angry. I'm just sad. But maybe this is for the best." Tears welled in my eyes again. "I never wanted to break your heart." He managed a small smile. "You didn't break it, Amelia. I gave it to you, freely. I don't regret loving you." The next morning, I packed my things. The apartment was heavy with memories. Leo helped me carry my bag to the door. "If you need anything, call me," he said. "Thank you for everything, Ethan. You were always good to me." He looked at me one last time. "Take care, Amelia." Then I walked out. Chloe was waiting in her car. "Let's go," she said gently. I got in and we drove away. I didn't look back. At Chloe's apartment, I finally let myself cry. I cried for the guilt, the sadness, the fear, and for the small glimmer of hope I now felt. For the first time, I had made a choice for myself. The days passed slowly. I stayed with Chloe for a few weeks, helping around the house. She gave me space, but was always there when I needed her. I started taking long walks by the lake, watching life go on around me. It was calming. One day, I saw a flyer for a creative writing class and decided to sign up. The class was small, and at first I was shy, but soon I started to enjoy it. I wrote about my feelings, my past, my hopes. One evening I wrote in my notebook, "I lost love before I even found it, but now I am finding myself." That sentence made me smile. A few weeks later, I got a message from Ethan. He said he was doing okay and had joined a cooking class. It was a kind, no-pressure message. I replied, telling him about my writing class and wishing him well. We didn't talk again after that, but it was a peaceful closure. Months went by. I found a small studio apartment near the bookstore. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I painted the walls a cheerful yellow and filled the space with things I loved. I felt lonely sometimes, but I also felt free. I still thought about Ethan and hoped he would find someone who could truly love him back. One day, I found the heart necklace he had given me. I put it in a small box with a note. "Thank you for your kindness. I will never forget it." I asked Chloe to return it to him. As the seasons changed, so did I. I started to smile more, made new friends, and laughed again. I was starting to feel like myself. One night, I looked in the mirror and saw a woman who had been lost but was now finding her way. "It's not a perfect story," I whispered, "but it's mine. I'm still learning, still growing. I don't know what the future holds, but I know this: never marry for the wrong reasons. Never silence your heart." If anyone out there feels the way I did, please know you are not alone. It's okay to make mistakes and to start over. Be brave, be honest. Your heart knows the way. Thank you for listening to my story. It may not have a fairy tale ending, but it's real. And sometimes being real is the bravest thing you can be. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon.